Howdy folks, Frankie Day back again on YouTube. Okay folks, today on YouTube I have my first build report update on my ballistic submarine U.S.S. George Washington. Folks, after I've concluded my last video I done, I went ahead and started preparing some parts for my painting. Oh gee folks, I tell you, I better say almost an hour just to clean all the flash off the parts and have them prepared for painting. It was laborsome, to tell you the truth, laborious work, but it's got to be done to make a nice model. So far, I'm enjoying the hell out of this thing. It's really got me going. I really enjoy this. So anyway, as taken the last video, like I said, I got to clean all the parts preparing for painting. I went ahead and painted the airbrushed the hull and all the bulkhead parts that call for interior green. I've never been aboard submarines before. Electric boats or nuke boats, I've never been aboard them. I've been aboard them, I've never been inside of them. And I imagine they were treated. General Dynamics and also I think Newport News made a lot of submarines back in World War II, and they, especially the Gato class, I think a lot of the internal structures, such as bulkheads, were treated with like a form of interior green. So I trust the plan. So I'm pretty satisfied with color. I believe it was interior green. So without further ado, I airbrushed the both sides of the hull, interior green, and also the compartment bulkheads were painted as well. On the you can see here, folks, on the looks like on the starboard hull, which has no detail on it, I went ahead and painted it too interior green aside to match the port section that has all the detail of the submarine itself. And right now I'm going to go ahead and let it dry, fellas. And after a while, after it dries, I'll go out there and start making out the parts preparations for each sub-assembly. So this thing is actually assembled sub-assembly wise as treated on the plans. And that's how the sequence of construction does. So there's a lot of painting to do this thing and make this thing pretty much as accurate as you can. I'm still puzzled how this missile fires out of this thing, but I guess at one time it must have had some kind of a spring mechanism or something that shot the missile out of that tube, because somehow that thing is there's only one tube for that Polaris missile to pass through that's operable. So I guess at one time when the kit was first released, it came out with some kind of mechanism that would jettison the Polaris from the sub itself. But that's all toyish and amateurish and gimmick. So we're all adults here, and I ain't too keen on gimmick models anyway, because they eventually break. But assembly this is going pretty good. I'm really happy with it. This thing is clean as a whistle right now. You know, I got all the flash off it and everything. I use a file and sandpaper and everything. Got everything prepared. So I'll show you the parts, what's got done so far. So enough chatter, and we'll get to business. We're starting out with the bulkhead first. On my Lazy Susan over here, I'll get as close as I can. As you can see, I've got all the parts all airbrushed with zinc with interior green. So all these parts, folks, up here have been airbrushed interior green. Back sides and fore sides, because they all had detail on both sides of the bulkhead. So when you're building an interior model like this, you got to make it as real and clean and as simple as you can. Everything else can be added. So each one of these bulkheads right here, folks, are going to be treated with washes and picked out with paint colors, appropriate colors, before the sub-assembly is actually assembled together in its entirety, before it's submitted to the port side of the hull. And right here, this goes to the forward of the torpedo room, and those 6 notches right there, that's where the crew members have their berths located at on there. And each one of those berths are painted 2 or 3 colors. So there's a lot of painting involved, tedious but effective. that'll be that on that. Okay, folks, dealing with the, I stand corrected, I got the hulls mixed up together. Okay, starting with the port hull section, it's been painted in its entirety, and interior green too. On the port section, port half of the hull, where all the details at, is on the port section of this model. It too has to be wash has to be applied to bring out the highlights. Then the rest of the instrument panels that can control the submarine, the suction valve panels, sonar, anything to do with the operation of this submarine is going to be picked out and painted individually. Now, going back to the starboard side, on the beginning of the video I got the hulls mixed together. This here is about as plain as a baby's rump. I also airbrushed this too, interior green. So when the hulls are matched in its entirety, when the fold's done this way, it'll match the hull too. So ain't no sense painting one half interior green, leave the half in gray plastic what it was molded into. So kill two birds with one stone, still got a good deal going. So there's no detail whatsoever on that side of the hull there, folks. So that's actually made just as a shell. But the other part is very critical with all the details added on. So it's going to be a fun model. So I believe that's all that's going to be there to it, to the interior green. The other parts have various colors, like they call for on the instruction sheet. It calls for light brown colors, especially on the deck, and the engineering, plus the torpedo room. And going proceeding aft, it's probably all deck engineered, deck gray. So anything that's got any well deck that has machinery going on like this, that has its operable system, has to be deck gray. And probably got non-skid under too to keep the crew members aside in case somebody's going to a dive or surfacing or turning, because they gimbal when they turn underwater, just like they do a ship. When a ship heaves to starboard, you automatically gimbal to the left. So that's why they got non-skid on the submarines like that. When the ship gimbals, you can gimbal with the ship out, slide down the deck, hurt yourself. Same thing aboard ship. I was on tin cans, oilers, I was on ATs, tugs, a couple of the destroyer tenders I was on 2 bird farms, I was on 1 LST, a PBR, I had it all. And we had non-skid in there too, keep sliding around. That's a lot of injury, fellas. Anyway, so far to the update build report number 1 of my ballistic submarine U.S.S. George Washington. That's about as far as I got on the starting of the construction of it. So just for the night, I'm going to let it dry tomorrow with fresh eyes and a fresh mind and a couple good cups of coffee. And I'm going to go ahead and return to continue ship's work on the submarine and post another video of it. And before I do that, I'll bring out another bill of the past. And I'd like to thank everybody out there for your wonderful comments on my bills of the past. I hope I'm not boring nobody out there with all my stuff. You know, I want to fill up the whole darn YouTube with just me only, but y'all seem to be pretty well pleased with what I present, so therefore, as long as you keep looking at them and commenting, I'll bring them in for you. So I got another goodie tomorrow. You'll like this one. Boy, I tell you, now I know why the English love tea. Tea is good, especially in the winter time. My wife put a big old pot of tea on top of the galley, on top of the stove, and the galley in there, and she, so I'm having some tea tonight and enjoying myself. Okay, folks, once again, my prayers and my thoughts go out to Mr. Eddie Duarte. My Google has got me all spinning. It's got me all dummified. I try to post a private message to him, so maybe verbally across on the videos there. When Eddie gets well, he'll review all the videos. He knows our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with him. So once again, Eddie, get well and get off sick bay until that shanker mechanic get lost, and get back to YouTube where you belong. We miss you, buddy. Get well, and we hope your family and yourself is okay. I know it's a hell of a time something like this doesn't happen to you, especially when you got holidays coming up. That's a fun and good and joyous event. So please get well, my man. And we love you out there, and get squared away, get back home, and get back on model building and back on the tube, because we all miss you. And lots been going on since you've been gone. And every one of us in our model community has in our hearts and prayers are out for you, buddy. So get squared away, get out of sick bay, get back here. Okay, fellas, before I get off here right now, I'd like to thank everyone once again for your wonderful and warm and generous comments on my builds of the past, and also my builds I do from group builds. I got the state dope on Speedy, Mark 197. He's going to start his 1960s group build this Wednesday. I believe that's the first. I believe it is. Yeah, it's the first. Oh God, dog! I get my naval pension then. Yeah. Might get some more plastic if maybe Mama San let me go out and get it. So anyway, guys, we got all kinds of group builds going out there. Jake's got World War carrier aircraft of the 20th century out there. Boy, that's going to be an interesting group build. And Robert Gosling, he's got his D-Day group build going up, and that's going to be a gala event. I can imagine what that group build's going to be out there. There's going to be a lot out there, folks. There'll be a lot shaking on that one. And we have other great fellows out there with their group builds going along, and the F-18 by Hornet group build's going strong. And there's a lot of group builds out there, fellas, and so that'll be that. And once again, thank you for tuning in, and I'm very honored to have your great comments on my builds of the past and my group builds that I do. And happy modeling, and take care of yourself. Please subscribe, and may God bless. And we got the holidays coming up. Want everybody to be safe. Any of this going on, you gotta be careful. So anyway, folks, have a nice evening. You boys all take care. We'll catch you on the next video. And so stay tuned, boys. We'll catch you all later now. Bye, fellas.